on the flight, I just wanted to share some notes that I took just for the process of checking in and flying internationally. So just some background for what we have done. We flew 2 different flights, so there's 2 legs of the trip. The first flight wasn't necessarily international because it's just going to JFK. Then the second leg is going to be the international leg. But what we did, and I'm guessing you can do this, is for the first flight, we actually checked in on Delta International. And this is one of the tips I would say. It's really helpful if you actually get the app for your airlines. So I know it's kind of hard to hear. There's a lot of background noise. It's not the easiest place to record a video. But if you get the app for your airliner, that's going to help you because that's going to give you the most up-to-date information about the gates that you need to go to and all the other information for your flight that's not even necessarily going to be on your boarding pass or not even on the screens if you get to your flight super early. So I would recommend getting the app. The next thing was we got all of our luggage checked to the final destination. So basically the way they explain it to us is that if you look at the top of your luggage, the luggage tag that they give you, at the very top it'll say the place that your luggage is going to. So if they check your luggage to the final destination, it'll say like Tel Aviv on the actual luggage tag. So check that just to make sure. Then they gave us all of our boarding passes and they allowed us to check our luggage all the way through. So then the next thing that we did was we went through security. For us, they asked us to take our shoes off. At security, that could change, but they did ask us to take our shoes off, and then we just had to take off any watches, belts, anything in our pockets. We had to empty out all of that, and they did allow us to keep our cameras in our backpack, so that's not a large enough electronic, I guess, that you have to take out. But then once you go through security, and another thing is you can keep your passport in your hand when you go through security, so you don't have to lay that down. We just kept it in our hands. Another tip for security is we were told that if you turn left, sometimes you get a little bit shorter line, so that's just something for free there. When you get into the airport, just make sure you follow the signs. So you're going to want to look up. If you're ever confused, try to look up and follow the signs to the gate that you want to go to. And then you'll see these big signs that give listings of all the flights, the flight numbers, the destination, and the time for departure. So just check those big screens. And then the next step really at this gate, once our flight gets ready to board, we're just going to walk up and present our passports. And then sometimes they have the option where you can do a facial recognition and it'll just match your face with the picture that you have on your passport. I'm not sure exactly how that works, so I guess we'll find out. But you just want to make sure you have your passport handy and then you're ready to go. And that's really the first part of this flight process, getting into the airport, getting to the international flight. It's okay, okay. And that's really all you need to know for the whole flight process for this first leg of the trip. Getting into the airport, finding the gate, getting through security and all your luggage with you, making sure that that's going on the flight with you, and then finally just boarding your flight and heading to Israel. So we'll give you some more tips as we continue to travel. I'm sorry about the noise in our last video. We were trying to record it right as we were in the airport before we forgot all the tips and things that we had gone through, but this is just going to be kind of a follow-up from that one. So basically, just an update, we actually went through the line and all they asked for was us to do the facial recognition. So we didn't even have to present our passport to board the plane, which was really nice. They did do a random search, so basically someone's just standing there with an iPad tapping a random number or whatever, and it pops up and tells them which person to search. And that actually happened to me. So they just asked me to go over to the side at a table. I just laid my backpack down on the table. They asked me about the contents in my backpack. And then I did have to empty my pockets again, and they had to kind of search me with like a wand. But that was a very simple process, very straightforward. They just asked about my bag and stuff. The flight was really nice. They gave us pillows and a blanket on the flight. And what I would recommend though is while you're not using your passport, what I have is just a little, basically it's made for running, for you to go running. It's just like a waistband thing. It's like a Velcro strap here in the back. And so this is what I use to put my passport and any of the cash that I'm carrying, any valuables in. I put it right in here, and that way it stays on my person the whole time, so I never really have to worry about that at all. So that's very nice. I would recommend getting one of those. So once you get on the plane, you do want to switch your phone to airplane mode. So I'll do a little screen recording of this so that I can explain what this looks like. So basically, as soon as you get on the plane, you want to make sure that you have the airplane mode on, but before you hit the airplane mode, you do want to turn your cellular data off. So you want to turn your phone service plan, your carrier, your provider, you want to turn that off. So turn that off, then you turn the airplane mode on, and I also turned the Wi-Fi off. Okay, and then whenever I landed here, I turned the Wi-Fi back on. That way, whenever you do come to a place where there is free Wi-Fi, such as this hotel here, you can link up to the Wi-Fi, and it'll also remember the Wi-Fi places that you've been to. And I also just left my VPN on the whole time, so that way I'm safe from any kind of, sketchy internet that I might be using or something like that. Something that's not secure, not a secure network. So this is what my settings looks like, just so you have an idea of what that process is. You're going to want to leave the airplane mode on the whole time you're there. So basically you'll be limited to receiving iMessages or texting through WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, one of those. So this is how I have it set up right here. So that's what it looks like. But yeah, basically those are the main things. And we boarded the plane at 10:30 p.m., took off at about midnight, and flew for 10 hours starting at midnight, and finally arrived here in Israel at 5 p.m. the next night. So supper time, basically. But for us, it felt like 10 o'clock in the morning. It felt like it should have been breakfast. So that's crazy. So in the next video in this series, I'm going to walk you through the immigration and customs when you land in Israel. And we'll go through that process. It's a really simple process. But yeah, I hope these videos are a help to you. If you click the link in the description, it'll actually take you to the playlist where all of these are found. All the tips that I have from traveling to Israel, or at least my experience. And so you can go check all those out, the entire playlist, if you click that link. And make sure you subscribe because there's a lot more to come. We'll see you in the next video.